The 1963 Ferrari 250 GTO Racer is officially the world's most expensive car, having been sold for an astounding $52 million. The red competition car, formerly owned by Paul Pappalardo, has been purchased by an anonymous buyer in a private transaction. The price is a 49% increase compared to any other recorded auto sale. Classic cars, particularly Ferraris of the 50s and 60s, are enjoying an increase in value year after year, making them the Mona Lisa of the auto world. Every great collector has to have a GTO in their collection nowadays, if he truly wants to be referred to as great. Antimatter is matter with reversed electrical charge. Antielectrons, called positrons, are like an electron but with a positive charge. Currently, technology is being explored to make antimatter carrying cases. Using antimatter for medical purposes and making antimatter rockets is currently under consideration. The only problem is that it would cost $100 billion to create 1 milligram of antimatter. Seeing as it would cost far more energy to create antimatter than the energy one could get back from an antimatter reaction, the future of this research is quite shaky. A 405 feet Giga yacht, designed and built by Frank Mulder of Mulder Design. It was bought by an anonymous buyer in 2005 for a staggering amount of $140 million. It was sold on eBay, making it the most expensive thing ever sold online. The yacht features a built-in helicopter pad and is furnished with 10 multi-level suites, offering panoramic views. Additionally, the yacht has 8 guest cabins, a salon, a cinema room, a fitness room and an office. Marina Bay Sands is the world's most expensive building, being worth $4.7 billion. The integrated resort fronting Marina Bay in Singapore is situated on 15.5 hectares of land, with a gross floor area of 581,000 square meters. The property offers a luxurious hotel, convention and exhibition facilities, theaters, retailers, and restaurants. The unique appearance of the 3 hotel towers were inspired by card decks, and feng shui experts were consulted when it came to design. The Marina Bay Sands Hotel has 3 55-story towers, with 2,561 luxury rooms and suites. The marvelous building is crowned by the Sand Sky Park, offering 360-degree views of Singapore's skyline. The Sky Park consists of restaurants, gardens, a 150-meter vanishing edge pool and the world's largest public cantilever. Gutenberg Bible. Many people see the advent of the Gutenberg printing press as the single most important moment in modern history. Before the printing press, books had to be written out by hand, meaning that it was time-intensive. Thus books were scarce and literacy was a luxury reserved for the rich and powerful. But the Gutenberg press changed all that. The first book printed on the press was, unsurprisingly, the Bible. The first was commissioned in 1456 and several hundred more followed. But books are not designed to be durable and very few remain. At the moment, 28 partial copies are purported to exist, and 21 full copies. These are held in the Library of Congress and other well-respected institutions all across the Western world. A single page in good condition can go for $25,000, and a complete first edition could easily fetch $35 million. Not bad for a dusty old book. Painite is the world's rarest known gemstone. It was originally discovered in 1950 in Myanmar by British mineralogist and gem dealer Arthur C. D. Payne. Painite's extreme rarity is due to it containing the chemical elements zirconium and boron, which do not normally associate with each other in nature and don't occur together in any other mineral. Ironically, some painite crystals are partly altered to a crust of small pink crystals of the more common ruby. Though it's very close in composition to sapphire, these stones are totally unique. Their extreme scarcity means that painite costs as much as $60,000 for a single carat. They are only native to a small region in Myanmar, making them even more difficult to obtain. While other precious stones like diamonds and emeralds are better known, true gem aficionados know that Painite is the rarest stone on Earth. Ming Dynasty base. An old base that may seem like it's primed for the donation, but check it with an antique expert first to see if it can pay for your retirement. In one case, an ancient Chinese vase was left haphazardly on a wooden shelf and was totally uninsured. But when the couple who owned it were going through their belongings, they realized they had hit the jackpot. Dating from the 15th century, the Ming Dynasty imperial base went for $22.6 million. This was almost twice its first estimated value. Surprisingly, it was bought via a telephone bid by an anonymous buyer. Very few of these bases exist in good condition, and the couple said they couldn't remember where they had acquired the decorative piece of kitchenware. Thanks to this happy accident, the couple have retired comfortably. Everyone knows Leonardo da Vinci is one of history's greatest geniuses and visionaries. Most of us have seen his famed scribblings, featuring intricate sketches of arm and foot bones, river topography, and proved far ahead of his time with ideas for flying machines and compasses. And even studies about how the heart pumps blood, that modern science didn't manage to confirm until several decades ago. Many of these sketches can be found in a 16th century notebook called the Codex like Esther. Inside the Codex are 72 pages of Da Vinci doodlings and writings that make as strong an argument for the men's immortality as anything else. You might think something like the Codex would be worth huge bucks today, and you'd be correct. As such, most of us can't even consider owning it. But most of us are not Bill Gates. In 1994, the uber-rich Microsoft mogul, who was only worth a measly $10 billion at the time, forked over $30.8 million to purchase the Codex. At the time, this made the Codex the single most expensive book in history. But for a fervent rare book collector in Da Vinci and Myra like Gates, whom we can almost certainly consider the Da Vinci of our time, a testament to the Renaissance icon's boundless imagination and almost supernatural forethought, was worth every penny. The idea of a rich person buying an island isn't exactly unheard of. But when that island is an entire chunk of Hawaii, that's a lot rarer. But it's happened, thanks to billionaire Oracle founder, Larry Ellison. Several years ago, Ellison visited the island of Lanai, and like most tourists, enjoyed the lush surroundings and tropical greenery very much. Also, like most tourists, he wanted a memento to remember the trip by. But unlike most tourists who buy a trinket at the tourist shop and call it a day, he decided to buy the entire island outright. And so he did, forking over $300 million to call 98% of Lanai his own. He then spent several $100 million more to refurbish the island, including a new water filtration system and an Olympic-sized swimming pool in Lanai City, where virtually all of the island's 3,100 citizens live. He also, with this purchase, stopped the Castle and Cook Corporation, which once owned the island, from demolishing much of the island's historic district to build more modern housing and commercial buildings. Ellison isn't just keeping the 90,000-acre island to himself either. You can visit, and if you do, you'll essentially be visiting paradise. This is especially the case if you can afford to stay in the penthouse suite at his Four Seasons resort. There, according to CNBC, you're treated like royalty. With luxurious bedding, priceless Polynesian art to tickle your eyes and brain, and unbelievable ocean views. Outside of the bedroom are horse-riding trails, gorgeous private waterfalls, dipping pools, koi ponds, a golf course designed by Jack Nicklaus himself, and even planes for private flying lessons. Expect to pay upwards of $21,000 a night for all this. However, once a businessman, always a businessman. Large homes are a rich person's staple. But how many desire a ridiculous house that towers over all others like Godzilla, and just so happens to be the most expensive house ever built? Well, Mukesh Ambani for one. The chairman of Indian conglomerate Reliance Industries is worth around $45 billion, meaning he could have whatever home he wanted. As it turns out, what he wanted was a 27-story skyscraper looking down on Ultimate Road, one of the world's most expensive streets. Also, many of these stories sported double high ceiling, making it the equivalent height of most 40-story buildings. Inside, his pure luxury embodies humble abode, boasts a 50-seat theater, a grand ballroom, multi-level gardens, a spa, a temple, a 2-story recreation center, and more diamond and jewel-encrusted decor than many would think possible. The total cost was about $1.2 billion, making it the most expensive private residence of all time. And I do mean private. Despite its sheer size, the only people who actually live there are Ambani, his wife, and their 3 children. They employ a full staff of servants and enjoy entertaining guests. But aside from that, this humongous complex that could easily house dozens of families, if not hundreds, is strictly set aside for one rubber wealthy last name only.